Hi, I'm Louise Golbey and I'm a singer-songwriter. I've been writing for about 10 years now and probably been gigging for the last 7 or 8 years, I think, so quite a while. So a lot of my family are quite musical, and when I was little I used to do loads of dancing and singing, and I was in shows with my mum because she used to do amateur dramatics. So I was always on the stage, even from like a young age, so I always knew I wanted to perform. And yeah, my uncle played violin, my dad plays guitar, but my brother got me into R&B and hip hop when I was really little. So I'm an independent artist, and I often am very heavily involved in making music videos and the whole creative process of the music video. And so I've worked with various different directors and editors over the years. Sometimes it's an idea that I've had and I've been very specific, and I've got a director in and been really specific about the idea. Or other times I've worked with people that have chosen a song of mine and wanted to then create their, showcase their own idea. So my videos are quite varied. An example of that was the How It Is video, which I've just re-released actually because there's a new version of that song on my album. But this was one that I'd worked with the directors before, and I said I want to do a video for this song, and they came up with the idea of having the robot in it. You have to check it out.
So how have you been? I think I've forgotten your face and I need a fix. And I thought that you knew the score.
Another video that I did for my track Up To Me, which is also on the album, that was very much my idea because I wanted to do a dance video in a white studio, and I got all my friends involved, so there was 4 of us dancing. Another friend of mine played the leading man, and I basically choreographed the whole thing, kind of designed the storyboard and everything like that. I've just released my first full album. I've released EPs and singles and stuff in the past, but this is my first proper album, and it's called Novel. There's a few reasons why it's called Novel. Firstly, obviously, the word novel means new, so like a new product, a new thing. And also, it's my story in music. It's my novel, it's my full work, so it felt like quite a big deal. And it's also a bit of a reference to Family Guy. Basically, there's an episode in Family Guy where Brian, the dog, is working on his novel, and the baby, Stewie, is kind of taking the mickey out of him and saying, are you still working on that novel? Because he keeps talking about this novel. And I've been talking about doing an album for quite a while, and someone kept saying to me, are you going to do that album? And it just made me think of that Family Guy sketch. So that kind of brought the name to it. And then I thought, actually, novel's a really good word and title because it has loads of meanings. So that's why. So the album, I've worked with a few different producers on. Most of the tracks, and the whole album was mixed and mastered by a producer called Drew Hawley. He's actually worked with loads of amazing artists. He does a lot of UK hip-hop production, so he's worked with Ty for many years, and he's done stuff with Estelle. He's actually worked with De La Soul and a few American artists when they've been over here. And I've worked with him for quite a few years now, and I just knew that I wanted him to produce the majority of the tracks. One of the tracks I'm going to play today is from the album, and it's called See How Far Our Love Can Go. And the produced version of it was actually on my last EP, but on the album I've got an acoustic version, and I've actually got Matt Waters on guitar today, who actually plays on the album version as well. Actually, for this album I did a little campaign just to help towards the funds for it, because I do everything myself. It's quite costly making an album with studio time, musicians, artwork, PR, and there's so much that goes into it. So what I did was I started a campaign with Indiegogo, which basically meant that people could pre-order and prepay for the album. It was great because it meant that kind of created a bit of buzz around it, and it was great to know that people actually wanted the album in advance before hearing it.
Let us realize, don't let this fade. Let's hold on and see. Hold me close. Don't let me go. 'Cause now you know we're in love. Here we are. Let's go far. can go.
So I mentioned earlier about I'm a completely independent artist. I don't have a manager, I don't have a label. I do everything myself, which in a way, like, I quite like being in control of everything. I like playing a part in every single aspect of it. I guess I'm quite business minded, so I'm good at networking. Obviously, I've got the creative side as well. And yeah, I guess the thing is like the UK music scene especially, it's really hard to get signed, and people that I know that have got signed to big labels and then got dropped, it's so hard and it's exhausting, and you know, I kind of feel like I just want to get on with it, which is why I've just been kind of cracking on and doing it myself, because I've got songs to sing, I've got people that I want to work with, I'm happy to like invest in my music. Because, you know, like I've mentioned before, it's very costly doing it all yourself, because it still costs the same to make music. You know, people aren't buying it anymore, which is so sad, but actually it's still, the value of it is still there. It's still, you know, it's not free to make an album. But I guess, I don't know, I just feel like I've succeeded so really well on my own. I'm really proud of all these achievements because I have done them on my own, you know, like big gigs and press articles and radio play. But obviously, you know, if the right label came along, you know, and it worked well with what I've already kind of built up myself, then yeah, absolutely I'd go for it, because I do need the help and I need to get to the next stage, because it is quite hard doing it on my own and knowing I'm kind of guessing most of the time, and I want to succeed.
You're more dear to me than you ever know. You make me smile so much I can't contain. We have something I just can't explain. I never feel lost when I'm with you. The stars aligned, it is a sign you are a dream come true.
So the album has been out a couple of weeks now officially online, and the CD versions are available at my gigs. I've had a really good response so far. I've had quite a lot of like already radio play from Jazz FM, My Soul, and quite a lot of the independent online stations, and a few abroad actually. I did a gig in Hamburg recently, and I think they're playing some of the tracks over there, which is great. I'm very fortunate because I've got a couple of special guests on the album. A lot of the tracks I've actually co-written with a lady called Yolanda Charles, who is a really well-known bass player on the session scene here and in the US. And I've been working with her for quite a few years, so that's just a real honour. We actually met at a gig, I think one of my very first gigs in London. We were on the same bill, her funk band, her originals funk band, and me doing a little acoustic set, like really early on in my music career. And we got talking, she said she liked my voice, and we ended up doing a couple of writing sessions together, and we've written over the years. And actually, a lot of people say that the songs that I've written with her are my strongest, so, you know, it's a great partnership. We seem to work really well. So Comfortable, Up to Me, Sparkle, and Little While Longer, that are all on the album, are ones that I've written with Yolanda. I've also got a couple of special guests on the album that actually feature, including Omar. And Omar and I have met over the years a few times. We've been on the same bill as well. And I knew that he produced for other artists, and I approached him once, like a few years ago, and said, you know, I'd love to work with you, because I knew he was working with people. And he said, yeah, that'd be great, I really like your stuff. And he was like, you know, I've been watching your progress, and I love your videos and stuff like that. And he was like, I'm really busy at the moment, but I will be in touch. And literally, like last year, I got an email from his manager going, right, Omar's free now. And we basically got in the studio. I came with an idea that I already had. We developed it together. I knew that then I wanted it on the album, and Drew then produced it and mastered it. And I said to Omar, would you actually like to sing on the track? And he said yes. So he's actually on the track that we wrote together. And you know, it's not a love duet, it's basically, it's a song called The Outsider, but Omar features on it. And yeah, it's just great that he's on the track. And he'll be in the music video for it as well. So I'm hoping to do some festivals this year. I was put forward for Love Supreme, which is Jazz FM's festival. So I'm waiting on hearing back, but I think it might be booked now, which is a shame, but I was put forward for it. And then actually, through my contacts in Hamburg. I'm hoping to do a couple of festivals over there, and there's some London-based festivals as well, which I'm being put forward for. One in Shoreditch in July, I think. So yeah, I want to do as much as possible because obviously I'm promoting the album, and yeah, I want to get it out there. And then one of the tracks is produced by a guy called Amir Yakub, who produced the track Little Bird. And he actually used to work at Metropolis Studios, and he won a Grammy for working on Rihanna's last album. Yeah, it's quite exciting. I can say I worked with a Grammy award-winning producer. But yeah, this is actually a breakup song, but it's kind of a nice sentiment. It's basically ending it with someone and saying, you know what, you go and be free and do what you can and explore the world, and maybe one day you might come back, who knows. But it's kind of, it's not one of those like, what's the word, like angry breakup songs. It's actually a nice sentiment about letting someone go but being happy for them about it.
Fly away, now you can soar into the sky and explore the most of life, and you'll discover, just like I, that your wings will take great flight, and perhaps you might return, and if not, we've lived and learned. All good things do have to end. I wish you well, I do, my friend.
I'm Louise Golbey, and you're watching View the Music.